setting screens, moving off the ball, and being able to do both. It's just like a challenge, like my own little personal challenge in the game. That I think is kind of like a lost art. Like I don't think that people come in like, oh yeah, I want to play defense today.
Yeah, no.
Nobody says that, And so it's like it's not
The only
even
people who
top of
say that are
mind.
the ones bad at offense. Hey everyone, welcome back to Bird's Eye View. My guest this week has been on an absolute tear this season. When she scored 37 points in a game last month, it was the highest scoring regular season game for a Minnesota Lynx player since Maya Moore in 2018. She also has an 8-game streak of 20 plus points this season, a franchise record that, again, only Maya Moore tops. Guys, I've said this about Lisa Leslie. If you're ever in a record book with Maya Moore, you're doing something right. Our guest's offense is clearly incredible, but like I said on the pod a few weeks ago, she doesn't get enough credit for her defense. She's averaging a career high in steals at 1.7 per game and is consistently creating turnovers that gets her team easy buckets. She's an exceptional two-way player. We should honor her as such. I'm so excited to have Kayla McBride of the Minnesota Lynx joining me on the pod. I can't wait to talk to her about her game, how it's evolved, and all the ways in which the Lynx have been exceeding expectations. But before we get to the interview, you know what time it is. It's time for Sue's View. Support for the show comes from Delta Airlines. Reaching the absolute pinnacle of sports doesn't happen overnight. It is a lifelong trek defined by relentless grind, pure resilience, and an unwavering drive to climb higher. Delta recognizes that the path a WNBA athlete takes to achieve greatness is truly one of the world's greatest journeys. That's why Delta is proud to host these elite competitors with a charter flight program designed to protect their time, maximize their recovery, and champion equity. Because a legendary journey deserves an elevated way to fly. Keep climbing with Delta Airlines, the official airline of the WNBA. Support for the show comes from Google Gemini. Whether you're dominating the court or building a business, managing your time is as crucial as executing a final play. Gemini's personal intelligence allows you to connect the dots across your Google apps, like Gmail, Photos, Search, and YouTube, to make Gemini uniquely helpful for you. You decide what's shared and can manage your info in the settings. When you clear out the logistical noise, you give yourself room to breathe, execute, and actually enjoy the momentum you're building. Download Gemini, Google's AI app, or visit gemini.google.com to learn more. Okay, for Sue's View this week, we're going to start with the trade deadline. It has passed. A lot of times in the WNBA, you never really know. You never really know what's going to happen. Honestly, usually it's Cheryl Reeve who's willing to make some moves. There's always the question of like, our team's going to make moves. Are there going to be surprises? What do you foresee? And the truth is, in the WNBA, trades can be really difficult because we have a hard salary cap. And when you make trades, the money has to fit, but you also have to make sure you're always keeping 12 players on the roster. So it can just be at times like a puzzle you can't figure out. But this year we had 2 trades, so I'm going to get into it. First up, LA Sparks traded Kelsey Plum to the Phoenix Mercury for guard Monique Akoa-Makani, a 2027 first-round draft pick, a 2028 second-round draft pick. And obviously, the Phoenix Mercury got Plum in return. Plum made her Mercury debut on August 3rd in their matchup against the Sky. She had 20 points in 21 minutes, a huge 3 at the end, 4 assists. Now that dust has settled from all the trade speculation, she can obviously focus on having or continuing what is one of the best seasons of her career. Before her injury, she was averaging close to 24 points, 6.5 assists, shooting well over 52% from the field. Okay, so all that to say, Plum is a very impactful player, right? We know this, an all-star, you name it. But the question is, right, like why would the Mercury want to trade their first-round pick for next year, which is a very deep draft? Somebody asked me the other day, like, if Juju Watkins comes out, she'll have the choice after this year of staying another year in college or being able to come out and enter the draft. If Juju comes out, is this potentially one of the best, one of the deepest draft class we've seen? And, the proof's always in the pudding, and you got to wait 5 to 10 years at least to see if that comes to fruition. But on paper, yeah. I mean, we're talking Juju, we're talking Madison Booker, Hannah Hidalgo, Michaela Blakes. I mean, these are players that like I said, on paper, could be very, very, very impactful in the WNBA. So this is a rich class. And actually, I'll very quickly start with LA. I think for LA, you know, they have a lot of young talent. They obviously had Plum. They got Neko Gumake in free agency. Plum got hurt. They fired their GM midseason. Things haven't really played out this year the way they would have hoped. I think it's a great trade because Plum's contract is expiring. They get a draft pick in a draft that could be really impactful and deep. So I think for them, they're obviously planning for the future. So I get it. It makes sense. I get it. Back to the Mercury. Okay. So right now, the way the standings are, they are, gosh, I think somewhere in the 5 to 6 game range behind eighth place. Like they need to catch. I think the Mystics, as we stand right now, the Liberty, who are in 7 and 8, they need to catch those two teams, and they're pretty far behind. So I don't know. Part of me thinks, like, sure, they can make a push, right? I said this on NBC the other day. They lost Satu Sabali, or they parted ways with Satu Sabali in the offseason. That was part of their big three, right? They have Alyssa Thomas, they have Kalia Copper. Satu was a big three, and I think they've missed having that third all-star player. So now they have one back in Plum. And that could totally change the trajectory of the season of the team. They've got Sammy Wickham back now, who was injured for a majority of the first part of the season. So things could turn around for them. But I actually view it, and I compared it to when the Toronto Raptors took a risk in the offseason and traded for Kawhi Leonard, right? It was an expiring contract. They knew that there was a chance Kawhi, wouldn't stay, which ... he didn't. He didn't. They did win a championship, but he didn't stay. But regardless of the end result, they took him in. And at the time, Masai Ujiri, the GM, he said, we would rather have Kawhi in our house, under our roof, in our franchise, to see what we're about, to essentially, for lack of a better, wine and dine him, and hopefully have a better chance at him in free agency than any other team, right? It gives them a leg up. And that's kind of how I see this Phoenix Mercury move. Nick Uren kind of said something, like, if you read between the lines-ish, similar, which is they've always wanted Plum. They've gone after Plum in previous free agencies, and they see more of a future. This isn't a one-time, one-year play. It's more of a future play. So that's my take on it. Mathematically, if we go back to that draft pick, mathematically, because the WNBA takes 2 seasons in terms of how many lottery balls, so if Phoenix doesn't make the playoffs this year, their previous season's record gets combined with this year's, and that can change, your odds at getting a top 4 pick. So mathematically, the Mercury might be looking at it like, man, we might not even get a top 3, 4 pick. So maybe we roll the dice and do this. It's up to you to decide if that's something you would roll the dice on, but that is what I think happened. So that's kind of my outlook on this trade. Next up, the Connecticut Sun traded Anissa Morrow to the Toronto Tempo in exchange for a 2028 second-round pick and the rights to Maria Klundikova. Anissa's numbers across the board have jumped from year 1 to year 2, like literally in every category. And early in the season, I actually thought that she could be a candidate for most improved. Connecticut Sun haven't had like the best season, so that kind of plays a role. But she's a young player to me who's already showing signs of growth, but who hasn't hit her ceiling yet. So I think this is a great trade for the Tempo. They're a team, obviously an expansion team, a team that's building. They're starting to see like Marina Mabrey, Brittany Sykes, who hopefully comes back soon. They're kind of these pieces that you can build around. And to get youth, Kiki Rice is doing her thing this year now that she's back on the court. To get youthful players on lower salary contracts, but players with high ceilings who are continuing to grow, I think that's always good for a team that's building. And honestly, if we want to go back to the little explanation I gave on the WNBA draft lottery 2 seconds ago and the rules, it's interesting because if the Tempo don't make the playoffs, they only have 1 record because they didn't have a previous year. So it's just based on this record. So they could end up having like decent odds at a high draft pick for next year's draft. So to continue to get youth and to continue to build. So I think this is a great trade for the Tempo. As far as the Connecticut Sun go, it's tough to say. Maybe it just wasn't working out with Anissa. They're obviously moving to Houston. They're going to be starting fresh. So there's nothing better to start fresh with than draft picks, even if they are 2 years from now. Okay, next up for Sue's View, just want to shout out some players who have returned from injury. This year has kind of been riddled with injuries to big names. Even like Sabrina Ionescu early in the year was out with injury. She's come back and playing great. So just want to shout out two more. Napheesa Collier is back. She had off-season surgery on both ankles, made her return just before All-Star weekend. And she did it with a splash against the Storm. She had 24 points and 10 rebounds in that first game back. I mean, the interesting thing, of course, guys, and I'm gonna talk to my guest about this. The Lynx have already started to prove and show that they're the team to beat. They're a championship team. They were winning without her. So now it's just a matter of time to find that rhythm for Fee, for the team, for Fee and Olivia. They were trade rumors ahead of the deadline around Fee, but Cheryl Reeve had already confirmed prior. And like I said, Cheryl Reeve's somebody who will make a move. So low key, I was like, ooh, what's going to happen? But nah, she was like, nah, our roster's complete. We will not be making any trades. You know what? Fair. And, while Fee's return makes the favorite an even bigger favorite, my question is, and what I have my eye on, and again, maybe what I'm going to ask my guest is, does it add more pressure? Right? The Lynx have kind of been going along like no one really expected them to be in first, and that kind of, you can play loose. Now you add an MVP candidate. Does that add pressure? So I have my eye on that. Next up, Dejanay Carrington is back from a foot injury. First game back was on July 30th against the Sun. She had 9 points, 3 rebounds, 1 block. As one of the league's best perimeter defenders, could she be the difference maker and help the Sky close out games? They did one. They didn't get another one. Chicago's 2-1 since her return, but they did get a big win on a buzzer beater by Sydney Taylor, shout out Long Island, against the Aces. Chicago, I talked about the tempo heading into the All-Star break, if you remember, about maybe a team who could, climb those standings. I kind of think Chicago could be that team too. But similar to what I said about Phoenix, I mean, all these teams are really far behind that 8th spot. So it'll be hard, but Carrington certainly helps. Okay, before we get to the interview, I've got like a third and a fourth topic, but they're super quick. The Cleveland WNBA team, which joins our league in 2028, has officially named themselves. They are the Cleveland Sirens. I've just taken like a quick look at all, the rollout and all the, logos and things like that, but I want to do a deeper dive. But I just wanted to make sure you guys knew to check that out. And last but not least, Nikisha Sales is back in the state of Connecticut, back at UConn. She has joined the UConn coaching staff. Man, so happy for Keish. She's from Connecticut, obviously played there, really set the tone for what that program was going to be. She's gone off in her coaching life, but now is back home. So congratulations to Keish. And all right, now it's time. Let's get to my conversation with Kayla McBride. Support for the show comes from Delta Airlines. Every elite athlete knows that greatness isn't a destination you simply arrive at. It's a grueling, beautiful road miles in the making, built on early mornings, silent sacrifices, and outclimbing yesterday's achievements. Delta Airlines believes the path these athletes walk, run, and fly is uniquely among the world's greatest journeys. They're a key player on the path, welcoming every team with a premium, seamless travel experience that honors their commitment to excellence. Keep climbing with Delta Airlines, the official airline of the WNBA. Support for the show comes from Google Gemini. Whether you're dominating the court or building a business, managing your time is as crucial as executing a final play. And when your schedule gets chaotic, you can't afford to guess. Gemini's personal intelligence allows you to connect the dots across your Google apps, like Gmail, Photos, Search, and YouTube, to make Gemini uniquely helpful for you. You decide what's shared and can manage your info in the settings. Need to know where your next meeting is? Instead of burning valuable time digging through email chains, comparing map routes, or unearthing itinerary details, personal intelligence scans that all for you and makes the call. Let's say you have a crazy tight travel window. You can ask Gemini something like, find a high-end streetwear boutique and a local gym where I can squeeze in a workout within a few blocks of my hotel. Give me enough time to take a quick shower back at the hotel before my evening plans at 7. And just like that, Gemini's personal intelligence helps you map out an afternoon without breaking a sweat. When you clear out the logistical noise, you give yourself room to breathe, execute, and actually enjoy the momentum you're building. Download Gemini, Google's AI app, or visit gemini.google.com to learn more. Kayla, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me. Excited.
Finally got you on here after you and Courtney gave me shit in the lobby that one time.
That was so last year. That was so last year.
I know, it
We were like,
was. It actually
why are
literally
we on
was
the
last year.
podcast?
Sometimes you gotta wait for those good things. So here we are. Wait, real quick before we like dive into it all, any thoughts on like the trades that we saw? I talked about it earlier in the show, just like anything that jumps out. Plum gets traded, Anissa Morrow gets traded.
Yeah. Plum obviously is like the first thing that jumps out because just her ability to impact the game immediately, having the ball in her hands, three-level scorer, knows how to win, putting her with AT and Ka, I just think it automatically like that's the biggest impact I see like right off the bat.
Mhm.
Um, and also like a Cole McConney going to LA, I think it just gives her another opportunity to continue to show what she was already showing in
Mhm.
Phoenix. Her
Yeah,
three
good
ball has
point.
been great.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, and just being able to kind of do that 1-2 punch with her and Wheeler. I mean, it's gonna be hard to guard. We play them tomorrow, so
Yeah.
that's kind of fresh, top of my mind too. So
You just did the scout?
yeah, I just did the scout.
Fair. When you think back, because I'm gonna get into it. You've been in the league 13 years.
hmm
In your time, what would you call like the biggest trade you've seen? Because I was saying earlier, the
Mm.
WNBA can be tricky. Like, there's definitely been big trades, not always in the middle of the season. Like, which one jumps out to you?
Ooh, wow. I gotta jog my brain. Um, Trade or like free agency move because the free agency move is also a thing. But trade,
If you
hmm,
can't think of a trade, I'll take a free agency move. So biggest
yeah,
acquisition.
acquisition. I mean, Studio New York is always top of mind
Yeah,
too.
that was a
It
big
just
one.
changed the entire trajectory of everything.
Mhm.
Um, hmm, I don't know. That's a
I
good
know, not that I'm
question.
thinking.
I'm about to say 13 years of trade is a lot to think about.
Well, actually, so this is like a good little segue. So you've been in the league 13 years. You were
Mhm.
drafted third to San Antonio,
Yeah.
RIP ish.
R.I.P.
They're Las Vegas Aces now, so it's not quite an RIP. But
Mhm.
so it was the 2014 draft class. You guys had Chelsea Gray, Odyssey Sims, Alyssa Thomas,
True.
Natasha Howard, Stephanie Dawson.
Yeah.
Chelsea Gray was a pretty big trade.
That was with her and JJ swapped, right?
Yeah,
That I mean, that's very
that was
impactful
a pretty
trade.
big trade. So that's one player in your class that
And
got
didn't
traded.
AT got traded on draft night, I think. Wasn't she supposed to go to she
I
was
don't even
supposed to go to New
remember.
York, and I think she ended up going to Connecticut?
Yeah,
Wasn't
she
there a
definitely went to
swap?
Connecticut. I don't remember
So that's
that.
a huge thing. That's a difference too. Like, imagine
Uh-huh.
Stewie in New York at that time. I mean, AT in New York at that time. I don't know.
Yeah. But the draft class is like, you guys are pretty deep. Like when you look around at those names I just named, you all are still playing. You're all still playing at a high level. Um, how does it feel to be a part of that class?
It's pretty cool. Like I think even when I see Tashi now coming back too, she was in that class and AT, Chelsea obviously. Nobody really knew, I think at that moment, like we were all in the hotel room. Like back then we were at Mohegan Sun. We're
Yeah.
just drinking wine out of like plastic cups after the draft, like just hanging out. There was no like it wasn't as big of a thing as it is now.
Yeah.
And so like it just felt really cool. It feels really cool to watch us all continue to grow and still be playing at a high level, respectively. You know what I mean? So it's really cool, and then I think we all had great college careers, so nobody really knew what was gonna happen, and seeing us all now playing at a high level, still getting paid, still doing our thing, it's cool, it's cool to see.
You're drinking wine out of glasses now?
Yeah,
You
I
got the
tried
big
to.
bucks? You got the
Yeah,
big
I know,
bucks?
right?
You're
I
drinking
have
out
a stem and everything.
of Good for you. Um, so you obviously were picked, like I said, San Antonio. Like, what do you remember about just being selected by them, getting down to Texas, just kind of those early days?
I had no idea what I was doing,
Yeah.
obviously, and so you pull up and you don't really know, we pull up to a church, and that's, like, where our
Oh my
practice
god, I
facility is, you
forgot
know what I
about
mean?
that.
With
Yeah.
the track
Yo,
upstairs,
explain
and
it to the people.
I
Explain
can't
it
I
to
don't
the
even know
people.
how to explain it to people, you know what I mean? Because 'Cause we're just basically in this little church practicing. One of the first people I meet is Becky Hammond, who I'm like, "Oh, okay." Sophia Young Malcolm, Danielle Adams, D-Rob. So it was Jane Appel. I had great vets. That was, like, the
Yeah, you
first thing that I
did.
really yeah, that was, like, the first thing that I was lucky to have, obviously. I was just like a sponge. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But yeah, I just remember feeling very, very out of the loop, because I was playing with, like I said, just a lot of vets, and just eager to learn, excited, like bright-eyed. But then just it's a weird transition from going from like Notre Dame flying charter and doing all those things to now flying Southwest and being a rookie and, B1. I was just talking about this. I'm like, people don't understand. Sometimes I'd be on a back to back. Like, I remember getting on Southwest flights like the morning of the
6
game.
AM,
Yes, just
brutal.
a different beast.
I think that was like a league rule at one point that if you were on a back to back, you had to take the first flight out. Like whatever that first
Yeah,
flight was available, like you had to get the earliest
that's
one.
crazy. Yeah, it was
I know.
awful.
It was
It was
awful.
awful.
I mean, you kinda brought
Awful.
it up, like, your practice, quote, unquote, "facility" was something you
Mhm.
shared, it was like a church,
Yeah.
you're in San Antonio. I think, like, a year or 2 into your career, you guys ended up playing in that barn
Yep.
situation.
Porta potties and all.
Yeah, man, that was
Yeah,
tough,
it's not
because
the
they were
best.
they were, redoing whatever it's
Mhm.
called, AT&T Center at the time, I don't even know what it's called
Yeah.
now. So you've kinda seen it all. So it's been and now we're on the other side, we're chartering, you got practice facilities, all the things. What do you think when you look back, like, between then and now, and it could go on court, off court, wherever you wanna go, like, what is the biggest shift? Like, it could be good, the bad, like, wherever you wanna go with it.
Hmm. I mean, I feel like the WNBA is still like a league that's still about hoop. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's like still pure hoops. Like, and it's always been like that since I first got into the league.
Mhm.
Like, there's pure hoopers and there still is. I think the biggest difference, I mean, obviously it's the eyes and the social media. Like we were just talking about today. And I'm very grateful because I get to be around like Waylon and BB and J Mac like every single day. And so I'm constantly reminded of being like the bridge from the gap of like,
Yeah.
Liv and them and then like Way. So I'm able to have conversations with both. And I think it's just the amount of eyes on us too. Like the social media aspect kind of shifted everything. I think I
Mhm.
got Twitter in 2013, which is like my junior year of college. And so I just like in that moment there was like barely any media. You could still go out and like people weren't videoing you everywhere.
Yeah.
So I just think it's the amount of eyes on us and just like the microscope that we're under is a lot different. Like even just I'm just using Liv as an example because I'm around her every day. Like every day she's in media, like before every game.
Yeah.
And I just can't imagine being like a 21-year-old kid, like under that microscope, like everywhere. Like not only when you're in the gym, but like outside of the gym, people are videoing you. It's just different.
Mhm.
And so I think that's the biggest difference. And then I don't know, man. Like I said this, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's been with the rookies here. It's just a lot of players just don't come in loving basketball anymore. And I know
Mm.
that's a hot take. I just think that with the NIL and the way that the college system is set up, it's just more so like, what have you done for me lately? Instead of actually like being in it, like immersed in it and having pride and just showing up and hooping. And I wouldn't say that for Liv, but just like in general, like across the league, Like I just wish people like loved basketball. Like I just feel like it's not like that. It's not ingrained in them. And so I don't know. I think that's like my big hot take. And I talked about this the other day with D actually. And she's like, I agree, 100%,
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
No, I hear you. I think the way I've said it is like and yeah, I don't it's just an opinion. It's like a perception, but I do think kids today or like players today, younger players, I actually think that they're very skilled. Like
For sure.
they do a lot more kind of like individual work than 15, 20 years ago
Hmm.
players were doing. So I see a skill set that didn't necessarily exist. Some of it's just evolution in games,
Hmm.
but I don't see the same like dog or something like that.
For sure. Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah.
something that I do see, and then the ones that have both the skill and the dog, whoa.
Telling you.
Yeah, and then I mean,
Yeah.
that's we're gonna get to Liv in a second because 'cause
Yeah.
she's got a little
That's
bit of
live.
both, yeah.
For sure.
But you kinda made me think of something interesting, which is, you're a five-time All-Star, you've kind of evolved, like, your game has evolved in your career in a lot of different ways, but you've always been from day one I know you said you were, like, surrounded by vets, but from day one, you were a contributor, like, a great player. So, do you feel like because you've been, like, steady with, like, a little bit of, like, steady growth, do you feel overlooked at all because you're so rock solid? I think rock solid can get overlooked.
I think sometimes, especially when I was younger, it was like always like proving that I was like that I belonged,
Mhm.
that I was that all-star because it always felt like I was on the cusp. Like I was good enough. I was just always like right here.
Right.
And then, you have those peaks.
Like,
You have like those
bubbling under
those
the surface
Yeah,
kinda. Yeah.
yeah, like, my first year in Vegas, it was like, okay, like, I had another opportunity, and then you get to mini, and then, you take these different steps, but overall, it's like this, and so I would say yes and no. I think playing overseas and being in Fenner for so long kinda helped with that because, when you're playing in EuroLeague, you're playing with, like, Emma Meesseman and, these great players, Stewie, Satu, and you're, like, with them, and you're winning and you're at a high level. It gives you some sort of, like, I don't know. It's just a different type of energy, But I think for me, feeling overlooked is just it's something that was internal. not necessarily external. And I think Cheryl's helped me a lot with that as well too. Just like knowing my worth, knowing my value, like on the court, off the court, whatever. But yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, it sucks being on that cusp because like you're just consistently good and this is what everybody expects. But you know, I also expect of myself. I have a high standard for myself. And so doing it at a high level for so long, of course, like eventually, because there's always new players coming in. Like there's always new talent, or somebody's having a breakout season, or somebody's doing this that even that great season can be overlooked by somebody just having a breakout season, or you know, a young player coming in doing their thing. So I try not to like value it like that as much as when I was younger, where it felt like I had to prove myself all the time. Now it's like I don't know, I'm 34 now. So it's
Yeah.
like for me, it's like everybody's just like, damn, what is this? Is she gonna like slow down? And I'm like, nope, here I
No.
am right here, you know? And I think that's more of my mindset now.
Okay. Well,
So
part of not slowing down is that you do have to like improve. You have to get better, even if it's in subtle ways, because a really like a 1% difference is actually all the difference. Um, so to like get to this point in your career, I actually want to go back, like to like your origin days of playing basketball, and just kind of like who and what was crucial to helping you develop the different parts of your game.
yeah, I mean my dad was one to put the ball in my hands. He was a ref. So at every team camp, every whatever, I was with him at half times, timeouts, like he's rolling the ball to me and I'm just like I was obsessed with it from day one. So I think that and then I always had really good coaches. Even from the time I was in sixth, seventh, eighth grade, my high school coaches and obviously Coach McGraw, and then it kind of took off. So I always like knew how to play in a system, how to play with other people. And then on top of that, I would say like overseas. And I always tell people like playing in Europe changed everything for me because I think as a hooper, you get so used to, especially coming out of college, you're in a system and you're doing these things. Whereas when I went to Europe, it's such a different style of play. The physicality, the shots that you're getting or taking is different. And it really allowed me like expand and understand like where my capacity was, like how good could I actually get. But I think like the origin of it, I just had really great coaches and parents that just really just poured into me and allowed me to kind of like make basketball like the centerpiece. You know, they never they as long as I was doing my schoolwork, basketball was always something that they poured into me with, and just having good fundamentals and all those things. And I just always had a really, really deep hunger for the game, like competing at a high level.
Mhm.
I love to compete still. So I think
Oh, I
that
see
kind
it.
of, yeah, drove
I see
all the
it.
rest of the things. You know, it's like, oh, well, I got to get better at this. Or
Yeah.
my defense sucked when I got in pros. It was awful. I had no idea how to play defense at this level. And now, like, just taking on like the best player on the other team, I just have a lot of joy in that
Mhm.
challenge. And so, yeah, it's just constant. And I'll know when it's time to be done when that goes away for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Wait, you bring up overseas. I'm curious, like now that that landscape, like the off-season landscape is kind of changing because there's more options. And I think, Unrivaled is a great option. Project B is coming in the mix. Athlete Unlimited already or Unlimited already existed. How do you think it's going to change? Like yeah, since it had such a playing overseas had such a big impact on you. How do you think it's all going to change like players and their games?
For sure. I mean, I love European basketball. I'm biased in that way.
Okay.
I think, like I said, it's just transcended like how I see the game. I've been able to play with a ton of different players,
Mhm.
different styles of play.
Yeah, the
And so
styles.
yeah, so I think it's just opened up my mind and like now even the W, how it's continued to grow and continue to change. The
Mhm.
athleticism's off the charts, like even just like I said, I keep bringing up Live, but it's so crazy to like watch somebody like kind of evolutionize the game like in real time, sort of. It makes me sad in some ways because I feel like a lot of these players and like that's why I'm kind of glad to see like a Sydney Taylor going over and hooping, with
And then
Gala
getting
and things like
rewarded,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, and like being able to take that step because there is a different pride that you have as an American player playing in Europe,
Mhm.
that is different when you're in the W, and that responsibility. Like I feel like a lot of young players need that to understand like what their max capacity is, like as a player, what their ceiling is. So I'm sad about that, but I think like we just didn't have any other options. Like it was like you go overseas, you're in Russia, Turkey, maybe Spain or China at the time, and then you come back and you play in W. Like that was the cadence of what we did, and it was everybody. But hopefully, like AU and then Unrivaled can kind of take that place. And I think, like I said, the competition is just at an all time high. Even the young players, like they're coming in and they're pro ready. I feel like across the board. Like even you look at Paige, Liv, AZ, like they have pro. And like it's like what you said, they're just coming in differently.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of part of the evolution, where now it's like a 3-on-3 game and they're able to expand in that way. So that's their overseas.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be a part of that too.
Yeah.
But I just don't think I would be at this point in my career without my time in Europe for sure.
Okay, so what about your quick release? Because I wanna get into a little bit, like, when I watched you in college, obviously I was already in the WNBA, you're coming into the league. I watched you in college and, like, yeah, you were a great shooter. Like, everybody knew that about you. You played with other great guards, get into that in a second too. Um, but it wasn't until and I think this is true even when people watch you on film. We actually talked about it on NBC the other day, maybe like a week or 2 ago for your games, like, I don't think, and this is true for me, you don't understand your release until you're guarding it or like you're on the floor with it, how quick it actually is. Because when you watch it and you've never played against you, it's like, oh yeah, she's a good shooter. Yeah, she gets it off, but you don't. And then you try to guard you, and it's like you're there. Like we're there.
Yeah,
Everyone's
yeah.
there, and it doesn't matter. So, is it something that you just always had? Or can you talk to me about what the evolution of your release has been and if it's something you've focused on developing?
Yeah, I think it's twofold. Like I always had like good fundamentals, like a good shooting form and things like that. But I was more off the dribble, especially in high school and college. Sometimes coach would gotta play me at the four, and I was just like a catch and shoot type of player, like in the high post, like simple X
The
action, like
4? I love it.
yeah, playing the four sometimes, like 1 through 4, like literally. And so I never really even thought about the release or anything like that. It was just something that was ingrained in me, like catch and shoot. Like it
Mhm.
was just something that I was good at. Once I got to the pros, everybody got bigger, faster, stronger. Like the game is more physical. And so I wasn't able to get to the or play in that space anymore, like that mid-range space. So I just started extending things. So for me, I think the biggest difference was like my footwork and understanding like how can I get my feet set? Like what and I think it really changed when I started playing with Studi overseas. Cause when you play with a PG that can see things before it happens, you have to be able to adjust. It was adjustments for me in the beginning of the season, but I think that was the first time like, oh, like if I'm coming off and she sees my hands, I'm getting laces, like, and so I think that kind of is where I took my first step, and then I started becoming like crazy detail oriented. So it was like having my right foot down, like can I go right to left to right, and then being able to, do it off the dribble. That's something that even I've continued to grow into with Unrivaled or things like that. And then being able, seeing people's hands down or whatever because they know I'm a shooter. And I just think it's more so a feel and it's hard to explain. But being able to catch and just like understand where the defense is, and if I can see the rim, knowing I can get it off.
I'm
But
like,
it's
do you even
always
see
started
the
with my
rim?
footwork.
Me
Sometimes.
no, I know, that's the same, like, I feel like you just, like, know where it is, you barely even
Yeah,
see
it's
it.
really a feel, like, and it's
Yeah.
just doing it over and over again and being in different, like, scenarios, different defenses, and knowing different players, like, certain players aren't gonna step up, certain players are gonna step up, they're a little bit more aggressive, so,
Mhm.
and yeah, I just think it's continued to evolve, and I'm just trying to get it off quicker and quicker each time, and I just like I said, it's just more so a feeling and just the repetition of it.
Is there anything you do? Because you talked about a lot and it all makes sense, and
Mhm.
I feel like for the listeners, the answer is, "Sorry guys, it's a feel. I
It's
don't know how
really
to
a
break it
feel,
down."
like
Yeah.
it is, but it just started with so many basic little things that I do, like the boring little things that I do on a regular
Give me,
basis.
like, one example of a
So,
boring
like,
thing.
even in my shooting routine, like, it's like I'll do 2 catch and shoot, and then I'll do 2 quick triggers, like, off 2 feet, and that means that, like, I have a half a
You're like,
second to
"Boom."
get the ball off.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like the
Hot
pop.
potato.
Yeah, the hot potato, so I'm just doing that, and then I do a couple that are, drifting backwards, like backpedaling almost, and then gotta get it off. So I'm always
Ah.
constantly like in movement, trying to get it off as fast as I can and trying to be as efficient as possible. So like putting myself in those types of situations, whether it's right before the game or anything. And we always talk about like phone booth. Me and Coach Tebow, we talk about phone booth shots. So it's like as soon as I come off the pick and roll and I know they're gonna go over, but being able to just get my feet down and getting up, like I practice those things every single day, and so that's why I'm saying in the game, it's just a feel. If I see they're in a zone, I'm like, all I need is this much space. I'm not even thinking about it, and but it's just like a fun challenge, like in the game of how quickly can I get the ball off. But it starts with like just my repetitions every single day.
Yeah. No, I mean, for me, that makes so much sense. I think for people who have never experienced it, it really is true. Like, let's use the back pedal the
Hmm.
example you just used to be. shuffling backwards in some way, shape, or form to catch it and shoot it, you're a little off balance. It
Yep.
feels a little weird than just like
Mhm.
a normal set shot. And that
For sure.
feeling at first, I think for anybody, so like anybody working on their shot feels weird.
Mhm.
And what you're trying to do is take that weirdness into something you're familiar with. And then
Exactly.
when you're on the court, it still feels like a little weird, but I'm like, oh, I'm familiar with this. I know exactly like
Yeah.
where to get my balance. Or if I'm a little off, I know where to overcompensate. Maybe
Mhm.
a little over here. I got to go a little over there, whatever it is.
It's a feel.
Right. It ends up becoming like a weird feeling that actually feels normal. And that's how you're able to make them. So that makes total sense. Real quick, taking you back to Notre Dame one more time. You played with Skylar, you played with Jewell. I mean, a ton of other great players. Then you've got like Enrique Marina come out of there. Now Liv, who came out of TCU, but also Notre Dame, played most of her college career there. First of all, it's like, what's going on? How are these guards getting developed? But then how did it help you playing with these other great guards?
Yeah, it's so crazy, like, think back, like, because at that moment when we were all in college, we didn't know what it was gonna look like 15 years down the road, but, I think the biggest thing that stands out to me, especially just because the majority of the time I was with Sky, Jewel, and myself, we were never on the same team, and we were trying to kill each other, like, literally physically kill each other in
In
practice, and
practice,
Coach
yeah.
McGraw welcomed it. She was like, "Yes," because
Mhm.
we knew between us 3 that if we could push each other to the highest limit, like in practice, it was gonna be really hard for people to compete with us in the games. And so I think having Coach McGraw kind of instilled that in us in the beginning, we came in like more pro ready. You know, I'm going against Skylar Diggins. I mean, this is an all star Jewel. Like these are Olympians, all
Juliet?
stars. Yeah, Julie. Yeah, and like so. I mean, obviously Jay was like younger than us, but
Yeah.
she was still all. She was already so talented coming in as a freshman.
Mhm.
So I just think it instilled the competition, but then also you see Sky going pro and like her doing her thing. And it's like, damn, like I've been doing against Sky for 3 years, like every single day.
Right.
And knowing that we were doing the same things. Cause I don't even know what you're thinking about like at a pro level when you're in college. I mean, at that time I was just so locked in NCAA and like getting to the Final Four and doing all those things that you don't even realize, what's in front of you yet. And so now it's like all those practices, like killing each other. You walk out and you're like, holy shit, that was hard as hell. Because you're guarding Jewel or you're guarding Sky or, you know, it really changed you. And so I think now it's even grown to another level with Enrique, Marina, and now you're seeing, that transcendence of, the next generation has been really cool to see, and so I know that the coaching staff is a little bit different, but I think the message is the same, which is, it's been some of the best guards, like, over the last couple of years for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. I wasn't actually planning on asking you this, but you actually played at a time when, for as far as the Notre Dame UConn rivalry goes, like, how do
Mhm.
you think about that rivalry? Because you played at a time
Oh.
where you had a lot of success against them.
Mhm. Y
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to say, like, I think we beat UConn more than we lost him, but
Yeah.
they still won championship every single time.
Yeah.
It was tough. But those are some of
No,
the
but you
best
knocked them out though,
games.
I think, right?
Yeah, we did, I think,
Yeah,
twice, and
twice,
then they
yeah.
knocked us out, yeah. But I think, it's it's I don't know, those are some of the best games, like, that I've ever played in, like, and I mean across the board. I remember the triple overtime game at Notre Dame, the Big East championships, like, it was just I don't know, they were just so much fun. It was high level, it was, like, all pros on the court usually, now looking back, so they were just I don't know, it was so much fun, and we played with so much pride too. I think that's something else is that it was like we knew we were gonna see each other for 4 years.
Yeah.
It was like Bria and Steph, I knew that I was gonna
Like
see them for
3
the
times
next
a
4
year.
years. Yeah,
Yeah.
4 years, and I think that's something that's a little lost on me too with the NIL stuff and people just change it all the time. I
Yeah.
had so much pride putting like Notre Dame jersey on and playing against UConn. And when they came to us, like how much pride you
Mhm.
felt in those games. I can't sleep the night before, just so excited.
Yeah.
Those were some of the most fun games I've ever played in, really.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
No, no, I agree. But yeah,
yeah.
I mean, you're one of the I'm not even saying this. I think something else that people don't understand is like you have so much pride in the moment. I bet still to
Hmm.
this day, when you go to
Oh
a
yeah.
Notre Dame game, you feel the same way. I feel the same way when I go to the UConn game. But then it's like when you graduate, you're teammates with each other. It's not
Yeah,
like it goes like so deep so far. Yeah, when
for
we play
sure.
against each other,
Of
of
course.
course.
Yeah.
But it is funny, but I'm not saying this to talk shit at all, but you are one of the few in a sense, like generations that had won more than they lost.
For
And so
sure.
it's
Yeah.
pretty yeah, you guys did your thing, you guys did your thing. Okay, I'm gonna take it back to Liv because now, obviously former Notre Dame player, but now you're with her all the time. What about her game just, like, excites you when you think of her future?
I mean, there's so many things, and obviously I've gotten to know her just as Liv too, like off the court. And she's just so impressive already, just as a human being. But then watching her just she has this natural raw gift to be able to get to the rim, and it's so cerebral. And we've talked about this. We're both very cerebral as players. Like we think the game through very similarly. But her angles and her timing and her pace, like I haven't seen many things like it, like live. And I think especially now that I'm a little bit, well, I'm older, like I have such an appreciation for this young kid, like with this just natural raw talent, like the moves, the pace, the hezzies, the finishes, like and she loves basketball. She
Yeah.
loves the game. She loves to compete. She loves to talk shit. And I'm like, I am game. Like
Yeah.
I will play, I could play another 5, 10 years with her at that level. And it's been really cool to see because she's just so sweet and calm and so
Mhm.
introverted off the court. But then you watch her on the court and it's like this whole other person comes out. And so it's been a lot of fun to watch her continue to grow. And then obviously, Cheryl is very detail oriented but just like still letting her spread her wings. And then you have Way too, who's just been, I think, amazing for her. Not only like in her whimsy, like great energy, but then also just the IQ wise, because I think she needs that. She needs somebody who can like allow her to be creative and just kind of be free out there, but also like, hey, like let's look at it through this lens and this lens, because that's how her brain works. So I've been really, really impressed, but then also just like I'm a fan as well, which has been really, really cool balance to find, especially with like such a young kid.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I would describe Cheryl as like very detail oriented, kind of like, I don't know if strict's the right word, but she holds you guys accountable. Like outside looking in, like hold you guys accountable. But here you have this rookie point guard. And like rookie point guards are probably going to make like, especially early in training camp, not so much now for Liv. I mean, you don't see a lot of mistakes out there. But, she's probably gonna make some mistakes. So what's it been like watching, like, Cheryl Reeve, miss accountability, coach a
Uh-huh.
rookie point guard who's like, "Well, I'm pizza pieing. I'm taking this one-hand layup every time." So what's that been like?
It's been really cool, and I think, it's so funny, like, thinking back to the training camp moments where it's, like, that first time I, like, see her hit the hezzy, and me and Courtney are like,
Uh-oh.
"What?" Like, but, like, not now it's just like, "Damn, she can hoop for
Oh,
real."
oh, gotcha,
And
gotcha.
yeah, so I think the biggest thing has been, Cheryl always has continued to evolve because when Courtney came in and T. Heidemann came in, they brought a different type of energy, different type of swag. And I think Cheryl understood that things were changing. And so I'm glad that happened originally before Liv came in because I think Cheryl was more aware and open minded because she's done things a certain way and she's found success. But the game has been continuing to change. And I think Courtney and I are really good buffers for Cheryl to live, because we do play with a lot of energy and passion and a lot of like that you know what I mean? That edge, but also very detail oriented because we know what Cheryl wants. So it's not even getting to Cheryl, I don't think, as much. And then obviously you throw Way in the mix, who has a great relationship.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
another
just
good
like,
buffer too.
yeah, there's like a couple different buffers where it's like, Cheryl, like, do you see what's happening? But like also we need to play defense or hey, we can't be making 2, 3 mistakes on the defensive end in a row and finding that balance because she is so great. We don't want to take away her creativity and her
Right.
ability to change like she's literally changing the game for us, like night in and night out. But also those details that it takes to win, she wants to be focused in on those too. And so being that buffer of like, hey, we don't do that. We play defense around here. Like you can do all that, but we gotta be on our stuff on defense. And she's all about it. And so I just think for having that buffer has been really good. Because Cheryl and I mean, Courtney and I also have been with Cheryl enough to know like when it's coming and kind of be able to put that fire out before it gets there. So
Yeah.
it's been a fun experience too, watching Cheryl go through it. Because I mean, yeah, Liv is just different. So
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, Cheryl, the quote is talking about you, talking about Courtney, like, "We're successful because Kayla McBride and Courtney Williams." Obviously, Fee, who's not out here yet, but you 2, and she goes on to say, "Your belief in the franchise, they're the ones that, every day live it for the rest of us." You guys are extremely, extremely instrumental. You've already talked about kind of like her ability to evolve, like with different players, with different personalities. How would you describe her like effectiveness, Cheryl Reeves, as a communicator? Because I think that is something, even just her leadership, like the way she leads, the way she takes initiative, but really how she communicates to you guys.
yeah, I mean, I think when I first got here, I was like, whoa, this is
Yeah.
different.
I mean, you
But
must have liked it. You stayed.
I do,
Yeah.
I do, and I like coaches. I've always liked that. Like, I like being told, like, the accountability. I
Yeah.
love that
I'm the
part. I
same
love the
way.
challenge. Yeah, I love the challenge of it. Don't
Same.
sugarcoat it. Don't. I
Yep.
just
Give
wanna
it to
give
me.
it to me straight,
Mhm.
and that's why I love Katie Smith too, because that was my buffer when I first
Yeah.
got here, of like, she's saying this, but this is what she
Yeah,
means. Like,
translator.
from that player perspective, it changes things.
Mhm.
So I think she's grown in that way. She's really good, like, one-on-one. Maybe not, like, in the moment because sometimes it's all you see is, like, her slamming the board and da da da. But she's the type of person that would come and practice the next day and be like, this is what I need from you. This is why I'm on your ass because we need you to do this, this, and this for us to be successful. And I think sometimes maybe we don't see that all the time. We only see the other stuff because she is very diligent in how she wants things and her standard of excellence, respectfully. But I think that she's also good at like having those closed door conversations of like, this is why I'm on you for X, Y, and Z because in order for us to be successful, I need you to be here. And I've always respected and appreciated that. And I think it's different for everybody, right? Like it's different for Liv than it will be for me or that it will be for Fee. So I think that balance for her is hard. Like that's something that's above my pay grade. But I think that she does have a effective communication style in her own way, and she's really evolved. I'm telling you, once Courtney and T came here
That was the
and the
change?
stud buds, yes, because I think that she realized that she had to,
Mhm.
because
No, it makes sense.
Fee and I are not the ones that are gonna like go against the grain. And I mean this like in the most respect. We're not
Yeah.
gonna. But when Courtney comes in, and then this whole Stud Buds thing started, she was like, "Whoa, like I gotta let them kind of be themselves and do their thing, and loosen the reins just a little bit, even if
Mhm.
it's just a little bit."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that helped me. That helped Feed. That like broke us out of our shells too, and that's what that 2024 season was.
Uh-huh.
That was all of us like coming together and Lan and Bridge having a breakout season. And it was because we just kind of were let loose and in a certain way, like under the strict, But yeah, so I think that evolving communication and like just loosening the reins just a little bit has really helped, in these last couple years for sure.
I think a lot of people right now, when they think about the Lynx over the course of the last, let's call I mean, since you've been there really, right?
Hmm.
So is it like 6 seasons now?
Yeah, it's
So
my six
like,
year.
yeah, you kinda look at the players you've had, the change in the roster, all the differences, and yet you guys are just always, you've had your peaks, but you've never had like a valley,
Right.
And a lot of people wonder, like, what is it about Cheryl Reeve that she's able to keep these teams no matter who's on the roster?
Hmm.
I always say Cheryl Reeve teams never underachieve.
For
Sometimes they
sure.
might overachieve, which is coaching,
Yeah.
like great coaching. And sometimes you guys, I always say, and people kind of look at me weird. I'm like, sometimes teams just achieve. Like they do what
For
they're
sure.
supposed to do.
Hmm.
you
Yeah, and
know?
they do it well. Yeah, that
Yeah.
chemistry sometimes it just
Yeah. Sometimes they
happens.
just like do it. But her teams never underachieve. And it sounds like this like ability to kind of, like you said, loosen up the reins a little bit, be a little more welcoming of something new while keeping kind of like her same identity might be the key.
Yeah, I think so.
That might be it. Oh my
Yeah, I
God.
think I
Stud
think
buds
just a
changing
little
the
bit.
world for
They
real.
really did though. Like I can't explain it. Fee can explain it as well, but it's like there was this pre-Courtney T Cheryl that we
Mhm.
had, and then it was like, I'm telling you,
No, I
and then
believe you.
she might not admit it like fully, but we talk about it behind closed doors for
How much
sure.
of how much of how much impact has Cheryl had or just being in Minnesota on your defense? Because your defense, part of my intro today was talking about your career high in steals, but it goes beyond like a stat. Just like you will guard the best guard on the other team. Like you will kind of create offense off your defense. Sometimes it shows up in steals, it doesn't always. But you're out there like dependable as a two-way player. So how much impact has that been from Cheryl or just something you've thought about doing over the course of your career?
Yeah, because it wasn't something. It was like an afterthought. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I was in
Okay.
San Antonio and Vegas, I was like, man, I've been a scorer my whole life. I'm gonna continue to be this. But then when I
Mhm.
got here, it was like, oh no, no, no. We play defense around here. And the infamous shell that Cheryl's like, the nail help, all that stuff. It was an adjustment for sure. So I would say it's twofold. I would say between her and Katie Smith, they both they just set this bar really high for me. And because they had a belief in me that I could do it. And I think it was probably like the third year, I would say like 23. We had a little bit Fee was coming back. We had Diamond and Dorka as our rookies, and it was just me and Fee just kind of we had to figure it out. And I think in that year, like a lot of things clicked defensively with the shell and just the energy and just figuring it out. And I just take a lot of pride in it. And I think it goes back for me. I used to be like, still, and I was just telling Cheryl this other day. I used to be so sick to my stomach knowing I had to play Elena Beard or Brianne January or players like that sometimes. Whereas like
When they're guarding you mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and so it's like now it's like I don't not to say that they're feeling that way, but I want them to feel something like that I was feeling like, "Damn, I
Mm.
gotta guard her, and she's gonna guard me," and it
Yeah.
might be they might not be thinking, but I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I wanna be up in somebody that I think is great and take their first option away. But
Mhm.
having that mindset, of course, it changed with Cheryl because she's on my ass.
Yeah.
But also just the pride and knowing that it does lead to success. We have had success when we have the best defense in the league. And understanding that and her holding me to a high standard of like, you're the person that I need to be on this every single night. And having that responsibility, like I love it.
Do you do any, like, studying when you have, like, a big matchup?
Oh yeah, like I love watching film. I love watching the games before. Like if somebody's on a heater, seeing where they're getting their shots from, what are their
Mhm.
hot zones, go-to moves, like because people always go back to
Oh,
human nature.
always.
Always. And so just
Always.
knowing like, okay, this person likes to go right or they're stepping back and just being able to pick up on things like that and taking it away, that's 3 or 4 possessions. That's the difference between winning and losing a game. And so I love that challenge. And then also making other people's lives hell on the other side, setting screens, moving off the ball, and being able to do both. It's just like a challenge, like my own little personal challenge in the game. That I think is kind of like a lost art. Like I don't think that people come in like, oh yeah, I want to play defense today.
Yeah, no.
Nobody says that. And so it's like it's
The
not
only
even
people who
top of
say that are
mind.
the ones bad at offense.
I mean, you're not lying. It's like I gotta make an impact today somewhere.
I mean, I feel bad, but and then the good offensive players eventually become good defensive players too.
Yeah,
Listen, I hate to say it.
that's funny.
But yeah, speaking of good offensive players, who's like one of the toughest to guard? Either like in your career or even
Ooh,
like a current player?
hmm. I mean, I always go back. I mean, Maya's like everybody's welcome to WNBA, but I would say right now, and like I mean, I think she's been topic of everybody's conversation is Kelsey Mitchell. I just think the speed mixed with the fact that you can score at all 3 levels and the change of direction, the pace, you know exactly what's about to come and you still cannot stop it. I think that like and she just continues to become more efficient because she maybe wasn't as efficient when she first came in the league. But she's like, I think she's like 50, 40, 90. I know she was this month. And it's like I mean, these are tough shots. These are like step back and then Hezi, and I mean, 17 footers to the rim. I think we just had their scouts, so it's top of mind. She has double the shots in the RA as she does from the three, but you would never think that.
No.
You know what I mean? Because she just can do it at all 3 levels. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I've always been a fan of her game and her speed, quickness, and the versatility of the way she can get her shot off is just I think a lot of people say that. That and then Jackie Young for sure. Just her strength, the pure strength. And once she developed a shot, it just became really, really hard. Because if sees a couple go down, I mean now she's pulling up in transition off the dribble. And she's yeah. So I would say between those two for sure.
You're making me feel so like good about my broadcasting because I literally was saying that about Jackie. Just like people don't. Well, you were there her rookie
Yeah.
year. Like
Mm-hmm.
people don't understand. I was talking about the 2020 finals when we played you
Yep.
guys.
Mm-hmm.
I guarded Jackie. Why? Because they were like, help offer.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere, leave her open. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter. And now she's doing exactly what you just said, which is like
Yep.
pulling up on the break, walking into threes, which
Yep.
is like a tough shot for somebody who's
For
quote
sure.
unquote not a 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
So it is pretty incredible to see her growth. And then the same with Kelsey Mitchell, just super special. You just mentioned you guys played them the other day. I don't even know what the final score was. It was crazy scoring though. Like even the first quarter we were
Crazy.
watching like, damn, it was like
Like
30
this.
something, 30. Yeah.
Fee was like, was it always like this? Was it like this before? She's just coming
She's
back.
coming back. Yeah.
She's like, did the game feel like this before? I was like,
I
girl,
know.
no,
Wait,
it's
why do
the
you think
whole
it is? Yeah. Do you think it's the
I mean, now
refing?
everybody's scoring in the hundreds.
Hundreds.
A little bit, a little bit of that.
Okay.
And I think just everybody's just coming in more talented. It's like what you said. Like
Yeah.
more people are doing like all that individual work. So when they come
Yeah.
into the league now, it's just they have a bigger bag, honestly. And it shows. And now
Mhm.
like people are getting more exposed. And I think the refs are letting us play a little bit more, and that's what you get.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a lot of fun to play in, especially as a shooter. I'm running down
Yeah.
transition. I'm getting between the legs passes, and I'm like,
You're
okay,
like, "Oh,
cool.
fuck, I better
Like,
make
don't
this."
miss,
Yeah.
don't miss. But then also it's just watching Kelsey Mitchell drop 37 and
Yeah, it's
live, and you're seeing,
crazy.
yeah,
I
and it's
mean, you
any
dropped
given
37
night.
too, though.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Yeah, I feel like what I'm seeing is like what used to be in the WNBA was like, not literally, nobody quote me on this, but like the team that scored 90 or 80 was going to win. It was like if you could score, you had a chance. And now it's kind of like everybody can score. So it's a team that can play defense, just like even this much better, just a little bit better than the next. And I think what else is showing is like the team that knows how to close. Like whatever that is, or what do you think makes a team be a good closer? Because you
Obviously
guys
having
close.
having a PG, yeah, yeah, having a PG. Cheryl is really, really diligent about us doing it in practice. Almost every day, we're doing end of game, end of quarter, free throws, jump balls. Like we're practicing these scenarios with our guys. Probably like anytime we're in practice, we're doing it, at least for a portion of practice. So I feel like we're always prepared. We know we're running on resets. We know what the timing looks like on this, and we do a lot of ATOs, and I mean every day. So I think the preparation really separates us because we're comfortable in those situations. We've practiced them over and over again, and then also just the familiarity, like especially Fee, myself, Courtney. We've just been in a lot of different situations together, going back to 24. So there's just a lot of trust and like almost like a safety with that. Between that and just feeling very prepared, I think that just leads to those 2 or 3 possessions that wouldn't lose you a game.
Yeah. How does it feel to have feedback?
Oh man, like a breath of fresh air. When she
Yeah.
was in practice, I was just like, I'm just happier seeing you every day.
Yeah.
She's just such a good basketball player, doing the right things. And it's some stuff that doesn't even show up on the box score. I was telling her that in the Toronto game. It's just like having you out there, just being in the right spot and having the timing and knowing what our defense is built on, and just playing straight up and getting the rebound. She's just such a consistent player, that it just helps everything else. Everything else just kind of falls into place. So yeah, I missed her. I'm just happy for her too. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it has been a long time. Yeah. Double surgeries, all that stuff. Yeah. Do you think like, because I think part of your guys' story this year has been you don't have Fee, right? Yes, you have like a young point guard. What's it going to be? You lost some players in free agency. Like, what's this team going to be? And then it's like, boom, you've been sitting in first place pretty much the whole time, kind of exceeding expectations to some degree. Does adding Fee make you guys feel any additional pressure?
I think the last 2 years I felt more pressure than I did this year because that first year we made it. We're like 5 minutes from winning a championship, and then you come in the second year and there's a lot of pressure, and then you come into this year and it's like nobody knows what it's going to look like, and now here we are, and then we add Fee. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily pressure. I don't know. I wouldn't say pressure. I would say I'm very secure in who we are, but I know there's a long way to go and so many things have to go a certain way because I think that's just based off the experience
Honestly, yeah, you sound
and
like someone
trauma
who's been through it. I was just gonna
and
say that.
trauma
You
from
sound like
like being
someone
through it.
who's
Like
been
I'm
through it.
not gonna get too high and
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stay right here
Yeah.
because I understand how quickly things can change.
Yeah.
Because even last year in the semis, we're up 1-0, up 17 in the second quarter, and
Mhm.
then we end up losing that second game at home, and then Fee gets hurt, and boom,
Mhm.
it changes like that. So I
Totally.
think the trauma of those things happening
Yeah.
combined with we didn't know what it was going to look like this year.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of enjoying that process. I mean, it's just, and they're with people I love too. Like we've been through those things, so
Mhm.
I really just want to be in the moment, and be present.
I
So it's
actually
been,
think that trauma, I'm like, do I wanna say it like this? That trauma is like kind of important.
it is.
Like people at times, in some of my bigger moments, if I like maybe like hit a shot, not like a game winner at the buzzer, but like hit a big shot in a playoff game. There's still like 45 seconds left and I show no emotion. They're like, "Why don't you celebrate?" I'm like, "Because I know. I know what could happen." If I
That's I'm
fucking
like
celebrate for 2 seconds, I know what could happen.
somebody makes a three and gets fouled, and now you lose the game. Yep.
Exactly. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think some of that trauma allows you to like actually be present in each
Hmm.
possession as you go. So I actually think that's an important piece of what you
It's true.
guys are experiencing. So
Hmm.
one player we talked about earlier, but I think is having a huge impact on you guys. I consider her one of the best work wives I've ever had. Natasha Howard. She is a pick and roll point guard's dream. You can see her and live. And she just is like always there. I don't even always. So what's been your experience playing with Natasha Howard?
It's been cool. I mean, we played in Fenner a couple years ago together, and so we've always been very respectful for each other's career. We're the same class, but to actually be in a locker room with her and see how she goes about her day to day, it's been so much fun. And obviously, she was already here with the Lynx before, so she has that that connection. But I think the biggest thing for the All Star was her being a starter for me. I was so happy and so proud because I'm just like, man, I've watched her bounce around and do all these things and be the MVP of Commissioner Cup last year and coming in and people don't really know what she's gonna be like. And then so to be an all-star starter at 35, it says a lot about who she is and how she plays the game. And she's just a hooper. We talk about it's like that's the person that you want on your team when you're pulling up to Lifetime Fitness.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the person that you want because it's like she's gonna do the right thing. She's gonna rebound. She's gonna roll hard. She's gonna catch everything.
Mhm.
And she's just a great person. So sweet, so quiet. Her demeanor is perfect for this group. Goofy, like low key, very very goofy. So it's been a lot of fun to watch her kind of blossom in his second term with Cheryl too, but also just seeing her be very very comfortable as who she is. And so yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I know. Like I said, she just there is something about the way she plays. I don't even know. It's obviously on purpose, but it's like not on
Mhm.
purpose. She's just moving out there. She's
Yeah.
just out there moving. Sometimes you're like, Tosh, that's not the play. And then you're like, Tosh, great job.
The
Like,
floaters,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
her touch. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people don't understand those types of things are they might appear like they're just kind of happening. It's a skill. She has like a certain
Mhm.
skill set around it. Um, so yeah, it's really, I mean, I forget the stats off the top, but you guys, at one point it was like 4 or 5, your starting five was averaging double figures. It just seems like the chemistry is clicking, like things are heading the right direction. So I know we
It's been
still have
good.
a long way to go, and I know you guys are trauma focused. But it has been fun to watch you play. I like to do
Mhm.
a little rapid fire. Before I get to that, though,
Okay.
I do know that you and your sister are kind of
Mhm.
opening up. You're entering a little business venture
Yeah.
era of your life. You're opening up a coffee shop.
Mhm.
Um, Tell me, where's it gonna be? Why now? What's the vibes? All of it.
It's definitely a passion project for
Okay.
for me. My sister's obviously doing a lot more of the day-to-day stuff because she's in Charlotte. So it's gonna open up in Concord, North Carolina, which is a suburb of Charlotte, about
Mhm.
15 minutes outside the city. It's called 1122. That's the name, the street name where we grew up. And
Okay.
it's just supposed to be this coffee shop that kind of feels like home. You know,
Okay.
that warm like mug that you have when you're sitting, when you just wake up. Like we want it to feel like that. And it's something, I mean, we've always been the sisters that are whatever city we're in, we need to find the best coffee shop. We need to
Yeah.
find the best vibes. Like
I'm the
whether we
same.
playing R&B and
The minute I get to
this
a hotel, I'm like, where
yeah,
look
and
at my maps.
right, yeah. So like we've always been like that. And so to be able to kind of create that space, and it's not that big. It's like 600 square feet, this place. It's really, really cute. And so we've been diving into that. It's gonna open up in beginning of September. And it's something we're really excited about. We're doing it together. And so I'll be there for the World Cup break. But it's just a little passion project, just a place where people can come and gather and hear good music, have a great cup of coffee, and something that's very sentimental to us and how we grew up. And so yeah, it's really exciting. It's exciting to be doing with my sister too. We're the oldest. Our two younger siblings are still in college and they're still doing their thing. So this is like our little grown woman thing that we get to do together. So it's been fun. It's been fun. Stressful, but fun for
Yeah,
sure.
that's awesome.
Hmm.
Definitely wish you luck for that. It's kind of the
Thank
perfect
you.
way to get into rapid fire. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
What's your go-to coffee order?
Oh man, I like a soy vanilla latte.
Okay.
That's probably my
I like a
go-to.
soy
Hot,
flat white.
extra hot, extra hot. I need it to be really hot.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Why? Because like you like the burn or you
Yeah,
know
I
it's
just
gonna
don't
cool
like
down?
lukewarm coffee.
Fair.
I just
Okay.
don't. Yeah, I don't like
Okay,
it.
fair. What is your favorite pregame ritual?
I'm a napper, shower, and then usually now that I've gotten a little bit older, I have to have my cold brew with a shot of espresso, a
Okay.
little bit of cream. I gotta have it now. Like I have to, especially 8 o'clock games. So I swear
Yeah.
to God, I used to see Becky and Katie like with these coffees. I'm like, guys, it's 5 o'clock
Now
now.
you know.
I will never say anything ever
Yo,
again.
isn't it funny the older you get, you start to realize like all those things that you
Oh yeah,
side-eyed or like, what are they doing? Now you're like, got it. I get it.
got it. I get it now.
Who's your favorite like current WNBA player?
Ooh,
Actually,
mm,
the way I like to say this one is who would you pay to
current.
watch?
Would I pay to watch? Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, Liv for sure,
Mhm.
and then I mean, Asia Wilson just continues to
Yeah.
just dominate. It's hard not to be in amazement, you know? She's
Yeah.
an MVP and she just keeps coming back better. Now she's shooting the 3.
3, I know, it's
Like,
crazy.
well, like, come on. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep,
come on.
like efficiently too. Like a
Yeah,
lot of
just
them and efficiently.
yeah, just respectfully. It's just, I mean, it's greatness, you
Yeah.
know? So always pay to watch greatness for sure.
Okay. All right, teammate in your career who made you a better player?
Hmm. I have a few, and we talked about it earlier, but I would say Slutie. Like,
Okay.
playing with a real PG, and
Mhm.
she was on me too. She's like, "Too good to be talking to the refs, and if I pass you the ball, you shoot it," you know?
Yeah.
But, like, also on the back end, would be working out with me an hour before the game, and we're just cut from the same cloth, and I just have so much respect. You know, the smallest woman on the court, but with the most energy, never got tired,
Yeah,
competitive as hell. She taught me a lot, like, a lot, for sure.
dope. Okay, player from another era, any era,
Mhm.
that you wish you could have played either with or against?
Okay, yeah, we talk about this a lot, but Waylon and I
Uh,
wish I woulda had some time with her.
man, yeah.
Oh,
I'm glad you
man.
didn't.
Yeah. I wish I
That's
woulda
my
had some
era.
time.
I'm glad you
But she
didn't.
always yeah, she'll come to me and she'll just be like, "You're just, I just wish I had some time to play with you." I'm like, "We
Yeah,
missed it by a couple years," but Waylon, I mean, for sure. For
yeah.
sure. As a teammate and then just, like, as a hooper, for sure.
I was gonna say on the court. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, on the court, but also off the court.
off the
Oh
court.
my god, she's fucking comedy, man.
She's
Every
the
time I look
best.
at her, I just crack up because I
She's the best.
know,
They
I
have
know
her
something
on our
funny's coming.
intro now, like,
Really?
on the board, yeah, like, this little thing she's, like, doing on the bench, she's, like, a part of our intro video. It's so cute.
Do you like doing the electric slide after games? I've talked a lot about it on the pod.
You're really putting me on blast right now.
Okay, we can cut that one
It
out.
depends on the game, because sometimes I'm, like, exhausted, I'm like, "No way are we doing this right now."
Yo, Wade doesn't
Oh,
do it. Wade never did it as a player. I didn't even know that. Because
really?
as an opponent, well, you were an opponent too.
Yeah,
I was like, see
yeah.
you guys fucking later. I don't want to see any of this.
Yeah.
I'm out. But then I saw something where Wade said she doesn't even do it. So that made me laugh.
Yeah,
I
no,
was
I
like,
mean, some of those games, I'm, like, so exhausted, I'm like, "There's no way we're doing this right now," but
sometimes you guys do look a little like,
I'm like,
to
"Alright, I don't have
the,
as much juice left in me to do this."
yeah.
Yeah,
You guys do
exactly,
look a
that
little
is what it
tired.
looks like, really.
Okay, last but not least, what's one thing people would be surprised to know about you?
Hmm, man, I don't know. I think that people don't realize, like, how much of a nerd I am when it
Mm,
comes to, like, I have a lot of, like, basic knowledge about a lot of things, and I feel like people don't really know that about me.
okay.
And I mean anything, just I think it's just from traveling
Yeah.
and,
Is there like a recent one? I actually asked Paige a couple weeks ago. I was like, "What deep dive have you been
um
doing?" Her answer was like pickles.
yeah, no, I saw
I
that.
was like, "What? Okay."
Like, she
And hot
yeah,
dogs. I was
and
like,
yeah. No, I mean, very, very into, like, music and, like, old music and knowing
okay.
people's stories and
Okay.
yeah, like, that kinda stuff for sure, but right now, it's just been Housewives and, like, Bravo stuff, I guess. I
Yeah.
don't
Oh
know,
yeah. You
like,
got to shut your mind off. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
get
gotta
that.
shut my mind off. That's pretty much it. And then, like, I've been really into, like, the red light and how it affects your all
Hmm.
this stuff, like, those things. Very nerded out by things,
Okay.
especially when it has to do with the body, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Kayla, this is so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on,
For sure. Thanks, appreciate
and
it.
good luck.
Thanks.
All right, hope you guys enjoyed that. Man, I haven't gotten to like talk to Kayla like that in a really long time, just kind of like chat. So it was really cool to just hear all about her game, her evolution. I think what she said about Cheryl Reeve was super interesting. A lot of people have wanted to know, like, how does she do it? And who knew? It was the stud butts. It always comes back to the stud buds. That's it for our show. Hope you guys enjoyed. This episode is a co-production of Together and the Vox Media Podcast Network and was produced by Art Chung, Dominique Roach, Christine Williams, Mackenzie Fitzpatrick, Ashley Bogan, and Tommy Alter. Support for the show comes from Delta Airlines. When you witness a WNBA athlete at the absolute peak of her powers, you're looking at the culmination of an incredible lifelong expedition. From local childhood courts to the biggest stages in the game, the dedication required to compete at this level makes the athlete's path one of the world's greatest journeys. Delta is proud to host these competitors along the way, delivering the care, comfort, and elevated hospitality they deserve as they push the game to new heights. Keep climbing with Delta Airlines, the official airline of the WNBA.